Hey, welcome back. It has been a while. It's been a few weeks. Part of my job is to travel around the country and help businesses out. Also do a lot of speaking engagements. I've got a little bit of lag here, so I thought I would do a video. It's been a few weeks since I posted one. But anyway, one of the things that I get a lot, especially on the when I talk about sighting in, your scopes and your red dot and stuff. And I tell you that I use a bore sight, right? And there's a bore sight right there. Right, bore sight, guys, a laser. A lot of people ask me which bore sights that I use. And I know there's a ton of them out there. I will definitely share this information with you on which bore sights that I use, but I'll also explain about how I buy bore sights, right? So let's start there. First off, I like to buy my bore sights at a gun show. There's two reasons why I do that. Number one, it allows me to test the level of the bore sight, right? So I can actually put the batteries in it, put it on a table, and roll the bore sight across the table, holding up a piece of paper or something like that to see if the bore sight's actually level, if the laser is coming out of there, if the light coming out of there is straight and it doesn't have any kind of wave to it, or it's off-centered, something like that. So I like to test them all. I don't like to buy stuff online. I like to hold it, see it, test it, and see how it works. But the other thing I look at is the quality of the product that I'm buying, right? I like the quality of the product, and one of the big things that I look for is the warranty. Do they stand behind their product? What's the warranty of the product? And I know there's a lot of companies that you can buy stuff from, and I know that cheap tends to be the way people go, right? They like to buy the cheapest product out there, but then they're upset because the cheapest product doesn't actually work really well. Well, I don't necessarily buy the cheapest thing on the market, right? I buy something that I think is fairly good quality that I can test, and a product that companies stand behind. So I do not get sponsored by any of these. I don't get paid by any of these, but the company that I use is Osprey, right? Osprey Global. And you can find them at ospreyscopes.com, and you can buy their bore sights, right? I have 223s, I have 40 caliber, I have 9mm. They have just tons and tons of bore sights that you can get. I have 30-06 bore sight. I've got, any weapon that I have a bore sight for it. And they run anywhere between, $20 and $30 for a bore sight, but they're pretty good quality bore sights. The one thing that I love about Osprey, guys, is they literally have a no questions asked, no receipt needed, hassle-free, unlimited lifetime guarantee on all of their products. So if you have a problem with an Osprey product, you simply get a hold of Osprey Global and they will replace it. You send it back, they send you a brand new one, absolutely free of charge. So they do a really good job, and I've only had to send like one or two things ever back to them, right? And most of the time, again, I buy these from the gun show, so I get to test them out to make sure they're level. And again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you simply put this on the table, right? You lay it down on a flat table and you roll it, and you can watch the little laser kind of go across. And if it does any kind of swirling on on whatever you're pointing at, then you know the laser is off. It's off center. So I test all this stuff when I buy it. The big thing you got to remember about anything that has batteries, guys, and I don't care if this is your scopes, any kind of electronics that you run, any kind of optics that you run, and Osprey has all kinds of optics. I mean, they got all kinds of tons of shit. They got scopes, they got all kinds of stuff that you can get on their range finders. Just go check them out. But again, you don't have to take my word for it. And again, you don't have to buy anything that I recommend. I mean, I don't get paid by them. But one of the things that I always do with any of the products that I buy, especially electronics, is I make sure to remove the batteries out of these. And these just take these little button batteries, right? They fit in the backside of these things. I take out the batteries and put them back in the package. And I keep the package, right? I just take them out, put it together, use it, and then when I'm done with it, I put the thing back together, and I don't tighten these down all the way on the back. It just screws on. You put the batteries in, screw this on, you press this little button in the back. Now this one, usually on the rifle ones, you do have to chamber the round. On the pistol ones, they don't always close, and you guys have mentioned that a couple times. Hey, it doesn't look like your gun chambered all the way through. I think they do that on purpose because on a striker fire or center fire, they don't want you to damage the back side of this. So when you chamber this round, you don't need to pull the trigger, for the bore sight to activate. But then what I do is I put this package back together just like I got it, and I keep my batteries separate from the electronics. I do that because if these batteries, over time, these batteries will start to leak. They will start to, let out the material that's inside of that, the corrosive material that's inside of that. They'll corrode inside of this piece. I want to keep this thing as long as I possibly can. I want to keep it as good as possible for as long as possible, and I don't want to keep rebuying these. So I always remove the batteries in all of my optics unless I'm using them. The only ones that I keep the batteries in all the time are the stuff that I carry, of course, next to my bed. If I'm carrying and I have a laser on there, if I have a red dot on it, something like that, I just keep those batteries in there, but I refresh those batteries after so many months. Right, so I always make sure I have fresh batteries in my optics. My 300 blackout, I call it my bedside gun, so I carry that by my bedside. And that one obviously has the EOTech scope on it. I do change out the batteries in that regularly to make sure that the batteries aren't leaking, they stay fresh. So I always check those batteries. But Osprey, like I said, that's where I buy them from. You buy them from, wherever you want. I know there's much higher end stuff than this, and there's a lot cheaper stuff than this. I just buy good quality stuff, keep it fresh, and keep the batteries separated, and it'll last you an awfully long time. So anyway, guys, I appreciate it, and I do, even though I'm on the road, I do get a chance to read each and every one of your comments down below. So if you like the kind of content that I'm putting out, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification. Every time I release a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great one.